You're listening to Into the Box,
the brand new podcast series brought to you by Milton Keynes Dance Theatre,
where we'll exclusively interview our artists
as we delve into the creative process behind this youth dance company's latest production, Pandora.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Danny.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm counting down to half term, not going to lie. Even though we're in lockdown, I feel like I'm more busy than I was before.
For some reason, it's like bringing the entire world into your living room.
Yeah. So we've got Georgia Phillips on today. We might not have known her for as long as any of the other guests we've chatted to so far because she only came in for Pandora. But over the few months we've known her, we've really grown to love her.
She is an icon. She is very much one of those people, and I guess that will translate really well on stage. She just lights up a room when she walks into it.
She's a great character and she brings a lot, so I'm excited to hear what she thinks.
Let's go. So now we are welcoming our fourth ever guest onto the show, Georgia Phillips. Hi.
Hi, Georgia.
Hi, guys.
So this is your first time doing MKDT production. So we'd just be really interested to know, first of all, how did you find out about MKDT and what made you think, okay, I'll apply for that?
I got contacted through Instagram. And at first I was like, what's this? Is this just one of those scams online? And I clicked on it and I was like, this looks pretty cool. This looks legit. I saw Phoebe, who is in the production as well, on the Instagram page from Romeo and Juliet. And I had previously done competitions with her in the past when we were younger.
Oh, okay.
So I was like to my mum, can we have a look at this? And yeah, I applied.
How did you find the audition? Because the audition was very different in the sense that it was on Zoom.
I hadn't ever done an audition online before and it was so weird because everyone was just there right in front of me. But I was in this tiny little space on my own. As soon as I entered the waiting room and then all these little squares appeared and everyone was just like in their lounges and dining rooms and kitchens and bedrooms, and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who's in this tiny little box. It was really different, but it still felt like a proper audition. It felt really lovely.
So after the audition, we were able to come into the studio to start the production in September. So were you nervous about actually starting?
I tell you, when I walked into that room, I was absolutely petrified. I was peeing myself. I'd done shows at my dance school and I was in a pantomime when I was 9, but I'd never done anything like this is a show separate from your dance school with people you do not know. And I was like, there's so many people, I don't know what to do. And it kind of jogged over and I was like, hi. But as soon as I got to talking to everybody, everyone was super sweet and nice and no one was judgmental. And then I realised that there was another girl that I knew from another previous dance thing I'd done. So that helped me warm up to it. And it was really lovely to just walk in and meet a bunch of people who love dance as much as you do.
When you did come to have a few more rehearsals, what would you say was the main difference between other shows you had done or maybe your competitions that you had done versus the MKDT experience?
I'd never done anything neoclassical before. I'd never heard of the style. Whenever I'd ever done anything before, it was either contemporary or ballet. It wasn't somewhere in between. And that's really nice to kind of get both styles and just them gel together so nicely. So when we kind of started, it was really fun to learn these new and different styles. There wasn't too much pressure in anything as there is at competitions when you're backstage and the nerves are going and you're like, oh my god, what if I mess up?
Yeah.
As soon as you just started dancing and you see everyone else dancing as well, it was just really nice.
You obviously came in and you went straight into a principal role, being Athena. What was your reaction when it came through?
Originally, I was like, who is she? And my mum was like, oh, she's a Greek goddess of war and wisdom and stuff like this. And I looked at her and I went, I have no wisdom in me. And we just had a little giggle and then I kind of danced around the kitchen a bit. Like, I was just really excited to be given this opportunity.
So you said that you're not at all like Athena. I mean, I'm sure you're more wise than you say you are. But how do you feel like you're able to get into character as her?
Well, I guess being a dancer is all about taking you away from the equation and just being the character. And I looked at a little bit about Athena, this strong, independent woman. I was like, yeah, I can do this. It's all about just forgetting about who you are as a person and taking on this new character and this new personality and embodying it.
Would you say that there has been a lot more research that has gone into your roles, especially with Act 2 being a lot more conceptual with the scene work? What sort of comments would you say about the research process to the show?
I'd never had to research something as much as I have this. Playing 3 characters and the second 2 not really being characters but emotions, I just thought in my head, how am I gonna be a sin? And it was all just really about thinking about sloth and pride and how they act. And the thing that also helped me was seeing other people in my sin do it, so I could kind of take things from what they were doing and start to do them myself.
So that whole thing of taking on the 3 characters and embodying completely different things is quite a challenge. Do you enjoy being out of your comfort zone, or is it something that you shy away from? And if it is, how do you think you handled that coming into this new production?
I love being pushed up to my limit. And in the beginning, I kind of shied away a little bit because I was like, this is a lot, how am I going to do this? But then I kind of saw how everyone else was acting and I was like, everyone else seems to be the same as I am, so I shouldn't stress. And once the stress just went whoop, right over my head, I could really enjoy it and just have fun with it. And that's what I've been doing. From the beginning, it's all just been about having fun as well as working really hard. I guess I like being pushed because it makes me a better person and a better dancer at the same time. It makes me change and grow, and I've been really thankful for that.
That's ultimately what people at MKDT say, is it's all about development of you. It's not always just about how high can you get your leg. It's whether you can actually feel a character. And it'd be really interesting to know, how is the learning environment different to a competition environment?
Oh, it's completely different. At competitions, you walk past your competition and you put on this fake smile. You're like, hi, how are you? I'm good, how are you? You have to put up this front, but it's all about that competition, like rubbing up against each other. Whereas MKDT, at the beginning, I was like, okay, right, let's see what my competition is. Let's see how high I've got to get my legs. But then after a while, I was kind of like, well, these people are lovely and everything's so different from what I usually do that none of that really matters. I've just got to try my best. And it was just really nice not to have to strive to beat anyone.
How have you found the creative process in terms of the choreography, how it's taught, how it's sculpted on you?
Owen is an amazing teacher. And then he gives us this choreography. Inside my head, I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? But then you give it a go and you realise that actually, if you kind of put your own twist on it, it's not that hard. That's what I love about MKDT, is it doesn't all have to be the same as everybody else. You have to put your personality into the dance instead of being like a robot.
Yeah. If you had to pick one other scene to dance in, which scene would you want to dance in and why?
I love scene 3 when she's being created.
Oh, my scene.
Yeah, your character and Jess's character, you do a movement or Jess does a movement and then you copy them. And I think it's so beautiful and so creative and it just goes so well with the music. I love that bit.
It's a bit hard, that scene, having to learn how to correspond with the way Jess moves to the way I move, because in the last show my character was just my character. I didn't necessarily rely on how anybody else danced.
Bring back Killian.
Bring back Killian.
Georgia, do you know that Danielle actually ended up creating her own character in that show?
Yeah.
No.
She wasn't initially Killian, but she created this whole story for herself.
Genuinely, that's how it came about. Owen gave me the creative opportunity to be so individual that he went, I like that backstory, and he ended up choreographing to it. And I was like, orphan boy Killian, let's go.
That's why I love it here.
It definitely sounds like something Danielle would do.
No, but with the sin work, I've watched Sloth, and that's very respondent on watching Jess move and watching how other people move. How have you gone from it's me dancing to I've got to look like my team, in a sense.
Before we initially started to learn the choreography for Sloth and Pride, we came up with these ideas. For Sloth, we didn't want to be obvious. We didn't want to be like sleeping. And one of the ones we came up with was you can't be bothered to vote or to take action on something. It was cool how we were like gelled together because we had this one idea and then it just brought the whole group together. And I think that's how we kind of move.
From what I've seen, Pride is one of the more classical sins. It's very technical in ballet style.
Yeah, it was really cool for me to be in the classical group because I'm more of a contemporary kind of person. And it was a really, really nice change to crack down on that technique and learn a bit more about it.
So do you feel like MKDT's challenged you in terms of the dance disciplines that you're doing?
Yeah, 1,000%. I learned so much technique-wise during the classes before rehearsal. We'd get an hour class with either Jess or Owen, and it was really lovely to focus on technique. And I feel so much better as a classical dancer than I did at the beginning, but I also feel like I've grown as a contemporary dancer as well. I can now like move my body in different ways and relax a bit more, I guess.
Talking about the classes at the front of the MKDT sessions, it'd be really interesting to sort of find out, how have you as a dancer overcome the challenges of Zoom dance classes or Zoom choreo learning?
Not going to lie, it's been very hard because it's just so hard to do it in this tiny space and pick up choreography from this tiny screen. I've bumped into many a fireplace and many a TV and stubbed my toe, but it has been made really easy by Owen and everybody else because it is really lovely just to see everyone's faces in the morning. We're all just trying to make the best of everything, and as much as it is really, really hard, it has kind of been nice to do it in a smaller space because I've been able to refine the dancing back a bit and really embody the sin itself and the acting. So that has been quite nice to help that character kind of grow, not just be dance.
So obviously Pandora unfortunately had to be postponed and is now going to go ahead in April. So what are your expectations of your first MKDT show week?
I'm really excited to work with my teammates because I know the feeling of being with someone on stage is so amazing. It's just so lovely to work together and get this massive applause at the end. And everyone's like, whoa, and you're like, yes, I feel so good right now. I think everyone in the production is really, really going to make it a special week. It's just going to feel so amazing to just be like, yeah, I've done that. By the end of show week, I am prepared to reach for the tissues and be bawling my eyes out and giving everyone the biggest hugs. Fingers crossed we can.
I can say from the experience from last time, I have never cried apart from the MKDT show right at the end. And it was just because it was so fulfilling, but so exciting and so sad and so happy and so everything. And I guess to cap off everything we're talking about, obviously MKDT is not a final step for a dancer's career. Are you looking to do anything dance-based in the future? What's your future aspirations?
Hopefully in September I will be going to dance college. I know that I want to do a vocational course just for a year or two just to kind of get me started. But after that, hopefully I will go into a full 3-year course or 2-year course, get a diploma or degree of some sort in dance, and then I'd like to either be in a contemporary company or be on the West End or somewhere. But I'd love to work with Matthew Bourne. He is one of my idols and he actually follows me on Instagram.
Oh, does he?
He followed me on Instagram one day and I literally screamed up the stairs. I was like, Mum, Matthew Bourne just followed me on Instagram. She was like, what? And I'm like, I know, like, what just happened to me?
Would you say that like MKDT has prepared you in any way for those aspirations?
Yes, definitely. It's been like a kind of vocational course, I guess. It's been like once a week on a Sunday, but I learned so much in those hours of dance that it got me thinking this is what college is going to be like, and it's really opened my eyes to the world of dance.
So for people that are possibly coming into MKDT, what sort of advice would you give them coming into the MKDT experience?
I'd probably say to them, do not be scared because everyone is so lovely and it's just such a lovely environment and so welcoming that no one is going to judge you. So just give your all and just go for it and show everyone what you've got. And I know that I haven't known you guys for an amazing amount of time because I'm new to this and because of lockdown we haven't got to see each other, but I really do feel like we are all one big family and that is a really lovely thing to have with a group of people who do something that you love. Just don't hold back, because you get so much out of it.
We feel like you've slotted right in, and it kind of feels like you were always there. It's been really great to have you as an addition to the cast this time.
It's been amazing. You really have come in as an outsider and really made it something special.
That means a lot. Thank you.
We have one final surprise, though.
Oh!
So for everybody that we're interviewing on this podcast series, we decided at the end, just to get to know you a little bit better, that we would do a quick fire question competition where you have to answer as many questions about yourself as you can in 1 minute. Well, you've been in the competition world, so are you competitive with this sort of thing?
I am the most competitive person you'll meet.
Jess is very competitive as well.
Yeah, you've got a challenger there with Jess. She is very competitive.
I believe it's my week to read out the questions.
So I'm going to be keeping time. We've had 3 brave challengers take it on so far. Jess, David and Hannah. So who do you reckon's winning?
I'm guessing from Jess being that competitive, she's probably up there. But I'm going to go with the guess that David's in the lead. Just got a gut feeling that David is smarter than he lets on. And then I would put Hannah, because I've seen Hannah in the quizzes.
That's enough said there.
So your time starts after I've read out the first question. I shall start now. First dance show you were in?
Pantomime. I was 9.
What's one of your nicknames?
Chunky Monkey.
Worst food?
Brussels.
Proudest moment?
When I won cups at competition.
Biggest pet peeve?
When people eat with their mouth open.
Are aliens real?
Yes.
Most embarrassing moment?
When I tripped over in front of everyone in dance class.
Favourite style of dance?
Contemporary.
Are you motivated more by criticism or praise?
Praise.
Party trick?
I can make a weird thing with my tongue.
Advice to your younger self?
Don't be scared, because no one's going to judge you.
Have you seen a ghost?
No.
Favourite school subject?
History.
Biggest fear?
Falling backwards.
Middle name?
May.
Stop, time's up.
Oh!
So, Georgia, you managed to score 15. How do you think you rank up there?
I think people have got through a lot more questions than that. Maybe about third. A comfortable third. Hopefully not fourth.
Well, you're right in saying a comfortable third.
Ah, I'll take that.
Do you want to know who's in the lead?
I do.
Jess with 21.
21! How fast is she going?
The next person on the list would be Hannah, and you're going to really kick yourself. It was 16.
No!
She beat you by 1.
But you're not at the bottom of the leaderboard. That position is firmly with David.
So I really hope you've enjoyed talking to us today, because I really enjoyed talking to you.
Me too. It's been absolutely great.
Yeah, it's been really lovely to talk to you guys.
So just before we go, just a few things to say. Make sure that you subscribe to this podcast to get notified of the latest episode. Then also you can rate us wherever you're listening to give us some feedback, which is always really great.
Harry's, mine, and the MKDT Instagram is always open for feedback.
Yep, so I am Harry J. Yo.
I am xox.danny. That's 3 I's, X.
Georgia.
Do you want to plug anything?
I will. My Instagram is x.gdance.
Cool. So go and follow Georgia, especially, well, I would say, especially if you're Matthew Bourne, but he already follows her.
I think he still does. I literally used to check every few weeks, just in case he'd been like, oh, I didn't mean to follow her. What the hell am I doing?
And that's the last final bit of admin is Matthew Bourne, if you're listening, please hire Georgia. She is.
Please, if you're listening.
So yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank
and we
you so
will
much.
see the listener next week.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.